And we're jumping right into it. Welcome back, guys. This is Even Apple. We're going to jump right into Raw, the date unknown. It is on a Monday. First, we had a Seth Rollins promo with the Goon Squad in black suits. Paul Heyman, I think, started it, and then he absolutely fumbled a Terminator reference for Braun Breaker. I think he was going to say he looked like the Terminator, but if you ask the Terminator, he's going to main event WrestleMania. Super cool, super cool. Next, we had our first match, Penta versus Chad Gable versus Dragon Lee. Who's Dragon Lee?
Yes.
He's not Rey Fenix. He is not Carlito. Who is not... I am blind to luchadors. They don't get enough screen time and they don't get enough promo time to actually know who's who. Sorry, not sorry. Well, Chad Gable almost broke his neck because... what Penta match is without a almost death experience?
Yeah.
The Kingo, guy from AAA, comes and threatens the match, costing Chad Gable it. Then Dragon Lee kicked Chad Gable in the face, busting him open. More like fell on his face, because what's a lucha without being unsafe? Then Penta wins, of course, goes on to Money in the Bank.
So let's go ahead and let's break for a second. Something I thought about during the show and pretty much all day at this point. Did WWE buy TNA at this point? Because we're doing a lot of cross-platforming. Besides having, who was it at WrestleMania that we had?
Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry.
And he just lost it to Trick Williams last night.
And then we came to understand that Jordynne Grace is now in WWE, which I didn't realize, and had to remind him that she was the TNA champion like last year, who showed up at the Royal Rumble. So I was just really confused. I'm still kind of confused. I noticed, that we bought AAA, but it seems like we have a lot more acquisitions than they're actually telling us. But I'm just going to keep questioning that one. The next one is the Liv Morgan returns. And this return, probably could have guessed that it was going to happen at some point, considering that Roxanne has now joined the fold of the Judgment Day. Liv didn't seem very happy. And what was she not happy about? That Dom is eating Roxanne's nuggets. Seems to be a nice little joke at this point. But
yeah. That bit was almost as funny as the next match, which lasted shorter than the promo.
Which was Akira Tozawa versus Rusev. I had it in the notes that this match lasted 2 minutes, and Nick wanted to make the edit that it was less than 2 minutes, and I couldn't agree more. This match, we knew from the very beginning, was going to be a squash match. But this entire match, even the after effects, were completely pointless. Rusev, of course, wins in dominating fashion, which we knew was going to happen. But then Sheamus comes out. Sheamus! Are we going to get a Sheamus-Rusev tag-up? Are we going to get them against each other? No. We got nothing. We got nothing in return for sitting there and watching the whole match all the way through, expecting something, Sheamus music hitting, and nothing. So we're going to move on, just like they did.
You could talk about this next thing, because I don't really know either about any of them. I know their names, but not who they are. I know one of them broke their arm in a funny video.
That was a couple years ago. So the next little backstage segment was with Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer, and it was them promoting their specials. Tom Segura has Bad Thoughts on Netflix. Then Bert runs over to the War Raiders, and they start doing the war chant together. He gets a slap on the chest from the War Raiders. That's about the extent of that. Other than promoting other people's stuff, I'm still not understanding why we did it. Yeah.
Because of Netflix.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Moving on.
To me. We had The New Day versus the War Raiders versus American Made. And it's a tag match. Was it a tag match? Was it a tornado tag match? Was it a tag match triple threat tornado? It was a tag match with 2 people, and then the third team being in the corner waiting to get tagged in.
So at no point did we actually know who was actually tagged in, other than like the first 2 minutes of the match. After that, it all just became a blur.
Yeah.
He kept asking me, because we're trying to take notes throughout the match, who was in the match, and I was like, last I saw, it was Ivar, and then I didn't know anymore. Then it turned into Eric, and then it turned into Julius, and I didn't know anymore.
Which turns into a stop shaking because you're shaking the camera. But also to jump in, this is a habit of the past few weeks of tag matches, because we've had the same conversation, because they get in, and especially this one where the ref doesn't tell anyone to get out. They all just jump in, and they all do whatever. So then nobody knows who's in, because I guarantee, like I've said before, I think at one point it was Ivar and Xavier Woods, and then Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston switched out. And then Julius Creed and Kofi Kingston switched out, which was a tag. And then Ivar got switched out, which wasn't a tag. And then he got switched back in, which was a tag. So he tagged in even though he was already in.
I couldn't even keep up with that, and it was worse during the match than that explanation.
But if you're gonna have everyone jump in at the same time, make it a tornado. That's it. You know. Oh, and then give props to, of course, American Made with the Brutus Ball. You know, the only 2 that seem to be the youngest, the non-veteran players, and they always come out and make the matches. The only thing they probably can't do at this point is maybe do a good promo, because I know one's like borderline slow, and the other one is just weird, like hyped up. I don't know what his character is. But either way, Kofi rolled up Julius Creed and won.
All right. So now we get to even more of a fun segment, promo. Jey Uso promo. We came out to eat again. And then, because of course the crowd asked for it a second time, we had round 2 of eating again. I can't tell you how sick and tired I am of hearing it, seeing it, being a part of it, and having to report it to you.
It gets the people going.
The only positive was that Gunther came out and actually gave us what a promo is supposed to be. He interrupted, pretty much ran through his normal spiel that he's going to take the title. I'm guessing at this point, since we have a match for Money in the Bank, that it's going to be the Monday after Money in the Bank that they're going to have a match together. He's been saying June 9th for almost a month now, so I'm guessing that's going to be the date. But hey, Jay, today, Junior, if you're going to talk to someone, know what you're going to say, at least to some extent. Because I'm sick and tired of watching you walk back and forth in the ring, not knowing what you're going to say.
Yeah. He just loses his train of thought too easy. Like Gunther came out, did it perfectly, was able to still look at the crowd, gain off the crowd. But Jay, he would say something like, hey Us, I said, and you could tell it's not like a fluent, like natural pause. It's a, where am I supposed to go with this pause?
Yeah, he probably runs out of breath just like he runs out of words. Moving on. Next match was Liv Morgan versus Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane?
Kairi.
Sure. This, again, was a match. I don't even have a whole lot of positivity to this match. They definitely did have a decent amount of back and forth to each other. Of course, it ends with another interference. No, Liv didn't win because we're building even more tension in the Judgment Day than we already had, because Roxanne interferes and then Kairi rolls up Liv Morgan and wins the match. How'd you feel about it?
It was a decent match. I like Roxanne. I like Liv. The other two can disappear. I'm hoping we get out of this that Roxanne does replace Raquel. That's what I'm hoping, because it did show later that Liv blamed not Roxanne but Raquel because she was supposed to not start screaming at her at the side of the ring. So,
and be the veteran that she's supposed to be,
even though she's literally not the veteran, because her and Roxanne, I'm pretty sure, started in NXT like the same time. She just came up and was in a tag team first, while Roxanne was out there, dominating NXT women. But whatever. All right, anything for that? Nope. Okay,
No.
next thing. So we had another promo of Chad Gable confronting the Kingo, AAA guy that he talked to earlier. And then they talked about their match, and Vikingo yelled at him in Spanish, and I wish Chad Gable pulled the Kurt Angle and did the, what are you saying? I can't understand you.
What?
Then, it cut to just Chad Gable staring, and then AJ Styles punched him and threatened him. Great. I put in a note that we don't care about AAA. I think it is best for AAA to keep them separate. Do not mix them. Do not. Because no star, you can fight me on this, right outside, right now. No star is comparable to AAA to WWE. No star in there. You bring the lowest Dragon Lee and compare him to a Kingo, it's not the same level. And maybe we could over time, like we kind of did with TNA at this point, but they're not relatable at all. So I hope Chad Gable goes over there and destroys him like he destroys every other lucha on, Raw and SmackDown.
So next we had another promo, which, from what we noticed, there's a lot more promos than there were matches. But next promo was Lyra Valkyria, and this promo was pretty much just saying that Becky Lynch is trying to steal the spotlight from other people, that she's already beat Becky in the ring twice now, and that she was hoping that Becky would have just put her tail between her legs and went away. But she made it personal, and it seems to be a theme. Now we're upping the ante because it's now personal. The only line that she even said that was even remotely funny or, memorable at this point was she said Becky was a rat with cheese. That's about the extent of it.
Yeah. I like the promo though. Lyra, I feel like it would have been 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10 squash in a promo if Lyra didn't stutter in her last few words. But no, she completely washed Becky Lynch. The only comeback Becky Lynch has was her husband's hot and Lyra's fiance looks like a rat with cheese. But yeah, no. Lyra definitely squashed her in that, and I hope after this they're teasing that Becky's going to win it. But I just hope Becky doesn't and then just goes on to something else because she's not the Becky we know.
No, not at all.
Right. And going to the main event of her sexy husband, Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor. How do you guys think it went? Well, they were all on their knees giving it their all. That's what they were doing, according to Michael Cole. But then, of course, it was a very decent match. Probably the match of the night because we had such a low bar. But, of course, Braun and Braun interfered. Then Jay interfered. Then Dirty Dom interfered. Threw in a chair. Seth gave a curb stomp to Finn. And then pinned him. So, it didn't help Finn. No more tension in the Judgment Day. And then CM Punk came out. Hit the GTS on Seth. And then, what's going on? That's it. This storyline is, again, every single storyline together. Like, that's cool. You can bring them all together to be like, everyone's getting their own little part out of it. But this whole night felt rushed. Like, even like last night or Saturday, it felt like there's more commercials than there was actual matches. Because, we watch it commercial free, and we can tell when that little 3-minute timer goes on the screen, and we watch the non-commercial fighting. But we are lucky to have that. I can't imagine. I think it was the Liv Morgan or Kairi Sane match, but there was like no wrestling. I think it was that or another one, but there's no wrestling. There was like 3 commercials during the match, and then it would be like 5 seconds in the ring, and then commercial, which again we got to watch. But either way, what's going on? I don't like it. I don't care. This is such a short video because this is such a horrible Raw. Just like Saturday's main event.
Which, I mean, I guess you could compare them if you actually watched them. Go and watch them.
Yeah. Our videos, not the events. Just watch our videos.
Either one.
It's an easier 20 minutes to swallow than 20 minutes of commercials.
Well, guys, thank you for viewing the video. Leave us your thoughts about the show in the comments section below. We're going to have videos coming out Monday and Friday, and every pay-per-view we're going to be having videos coming out. And we did, after the Saturday night main event, have a rant video because your boy over here had to make a rant video going off on the fact that we moved from New Orleans for WrestleMania, and we're pretty sure it's going back to Las Vegas, but time will tell.
Or Saudi Arabia.
But thank you guys for viewing. We'll see you guys later. Bye!
No, we don't have that. Remember, guys, who's got your 6? Bye!
Bye.